Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here again with a rant video. I haven't had one of these in a while, so I figured I'd grab a couple of these books and just hammer this out, I guess. The first book here is War is Hell, number 12, and it was a very strange book. I had to look back 3 or 4 times. I had to flip back pages and see who was who and what was going on. The story itself was good if it would have made sense at first. It's kind of very subtle of how it tells the story. It's a tale of an Asian colonel, either Japanese or Chinese. I can't remember which one, but I know it's the Japanese invaded China, and this is a story of when that happened. And the I guess it would be the Japanese colonel was haunted / possessed by an American soldier, an old Marine. I don't know even how that happened. I don't know where they went to, how it happened. Deaths in this, I don't know how that came about. I mean, and inside, and when this American is inside of this Asian colonel, the Asian has to make a choice of whether to kill the white man who's haunting his son, or the white man who's haunting his wife, who comes to try to, ask for forgiveness and take her life instead of his. And it's just really weird. It jumps all over the place. I had to flip back and forth a couple times. I mean, the artwork in these old war books, I guess this isn't a really old one, but it seems like it's all the same artist. It seems it's done well, but there's nothing phenomenal about it. Like, it's there. You don't turn the page and go, wow. But you also don't turn the page and go, this is terrible. So, all around it was a good book. I like the skull on the cover. And, I don't think this War is Hell series went too many more issues than this. So, I think I have another 1 or 2 of these. And I wouldn't mind picking them up if I find them cheap. The next book is Shazam, number 6. As anybody who watches my videos know, that I do actively collect this Shazam series right here, and this cover here is kind of creepy to me. These old photo covers where they're like a different shade and it's really dark and kind of off color really weird me out. I don't know why. I have no reason why. It's just a little awkward to me, and it kind of has that kind of the Twilight Zone effect is what I call it when. He has the cover in his hand and he's reading it to them, and then on the cover it goes on, forever. That's just, I like covers like that, but this photo cover is weird to me. There's something really weird about it. There's 2 Shazam stories in here that I believe were written for this series, and then there's one reprinted Golden Age story in here. And the Golden Age story is pretty weird. The first one is the mad scientist Savannah gives Billy Batson a watch, which he gives it to him when he's disguised, so Billy doesn't know it's him. And whenever he says Shazam, or whenever Captain Marvel says Shazam, he's held in suspended animation for 2 minutes. And that, I guess Savannah said that's enough time for him to conquer the world. What I don't understand is if you can accomplish something like that, why not just make it stop him forever and then you can do your thing? I don't know, it was a little weird. But, Billy ends up beating it by seeing a clock that's actually moving fast, and he adjusts the watch, and the watch just explodes. So, it obviously wasn't made too well either. If you try to change the time on it, it explodes. The other one is a story of, I guess, one of Billy's friends. His last name's Knox. His grandma is, dusting one of his inventions. I guess he's a boy genius. And she gets, electrified. So she has, all this electricity in her body, and she's running the vacuum without it plugged in, using the iron without it being plugged in. And one of them just says, you have enough electricity to power a city. And then as soon as that's said, it comes on the radio, and it says, Miami has a power outage. So that's the plan. We're going to Miami. But no, Grandma Knox can't fly. She won't fly with Shazam. She only travels by train. Yeah, that kind of lady. So Shazam puts her in a train and just pushes the train, and it takes him an hour to get there. If it takes an hour to get somewhere and they're not worse off than they were before you came, I don't think it's that big of a deal that their power's out. But I guess she has just enough power to keep it, to start it back up until they get it fixed, and then all her power's out of her thing. I don't know. It was weird. And then the Golden Age reprint was a Marvel Family reprint about scientists making an enlarging ray to enlarge all of the inanimate objects of the world. Everything grows, so he's preventing world overpopulation. It was weird, but it was a Marvel Family reprint, and I'd expect them to be weird. Love these Shazam books, though. Can't get enough of these. Another book that anybody who watches my videos know that I actively collect is The Man-Thing. Everybody knows I'm a huge Man-Thing fan. And this is number 3 of Volume 1. And like every other Man-Thing book, it's awesome. He basically fights savage creatures and saves somebody. Although, I mean, a lot of these Man-Thing books probably don't really have to be called Man-Thing books, because he's kind of just in them. But there's stretches of 4 or 5 pages will go where you won't even see him. They'll just be talking about somebody else. But this is actually the first appearance of Fool Killer. And he's actually hunting, Fool Killer is, he's hunting a construction worker who's working in the swamp of Man-Thing, who goes by the name of F.A. Schist, which, when you read it, looks like fascist, and that's funny. That's really funny to me. He shoots down a helicopter thinking that it's fascist F.A. Schist getting away, and it's actually innocent people, and the helicopter crashes in the swamp, but everybody's fine. Nobody dies in the helicopter crash, but there's crocodiles. Look out. So then Man-Thing fights an army of crocodiles. Incredible 3 or 4 pages of that battle. And then Man-Thing feels the emotions of Fool Killer, and as he goes after him, Fool Killer kills him, quote-unquote, kills him. And then that's the last page of this. I'll probably do a review of the 4th one here sometime soon. I mean, I have most of this series. I don't know. I thought I did, but when I grabbed these books, I obviously didn't. Chamber of Chills, number 8. Another one of those old horror books, although this cover here doesn't match the stories. It does to a point, but not really. There's 3 or 4 stories in here. None of them are that well done. But these horror books are good. I like these horror books, and this cover is awesome. The first story in here is a man's wife dies, although he hates her. Like, it's told that he hates her. He actually hates her, and he loves this doll that he has, this little glass figurine. And then he actually gets his wife reincarnated into this doll, but she's still only the size of a doll. She's not, the size of a human. Eventually, he starts connecting with another woman, and, gets to love her and wants to marry her, and then, says if she comes to his house, he won't be able to, live with her, because she'll see the figurine and it'll be weird. So he runs home and he kills the figurine. He just smashes against the wall. But when he gets home with his wife, he notices that his wife is exactly the same as his old wife. Like, singing off-key, doing all those things he hates, and he can't figure it out. And then he talks to his super, the super of the building, and says that the super came in his house and broke the figurine and just bought a replacement. And he did the timing in his head, I guess, and the timing of when he broke it matches exactly to the timing of when he met his wife now. So it's another version of her reincarnated. It was weird, but, it was okay. The one that's on the cover here, it's basically a man escapes prison, finds a cabin in the woods, goes in there, steals the man's clothes, runs away. They show up there, they think he's the prisoner, the guy who's in the cabin, they put him in jail. He sits there, and then when they open to let him out, he's a skeleton. But that's the end of it. It doesn't show him, haunting everybody. It doesn't show him going after anybody. It doesn't even show him in chains. Basically, he leaves and he says, "Whew, I'm ready to go home." And that's the end of it. Another one, the other story in here is a man gets a new job. And he doesn't know what this job is. It's really cryptic and it's really weird. And he has to go through, like, documents called the dead accounts, which, obviously he thinks they're, like, accounts they don't have anymore. More research into it finds out that they're actually dead people. Everybody there is dead, and his job is for the devil. That is the gist of the story. There's a lot of filler that made no sense and didn't matter. But it was alright. And last but not least, The Mighty Thor, number 151. To Rise Again. Nice, brilliant cover here with the Destroyer and Thor. It opens up with Thor battling the Destroyer, like it's on the cover. And it's found out that the Destroyer is actually inhabited by Lady Sif. Sif is in the Destroyer because obviously the Destroyers can't function without a soul, I guess, inside of them. But she can't talk, so she's doing everything she can to tell Thor that she's not, she's not trying to hurt him. But this is during the time when Odin stripped Thor of his powers, so he doesn't have any powers. And Odin watches on as Thor just gets brutally beaten as Sif loses control of the Destroyer. Suddenly the Destroyer picks up Thor's hammer. Because he doesn't have his powers anymore, I guess the hammer doesn't matter. And he picks it up, and then Thor just raises his hand, and it flies back to him. His powers are restored, magically. And then the Destroyer's blast is unleashed, and that huge blast they have, and Thor dips off into an alley, and that's the end of the story. The Kirby artwork in here is phenomenal, obviously. There's always a different feel when you read a Kirby book. Just an overall, all-encompassing feel when you read a Kirby book compared to anything else. It's hard to explain, but I know anybody who has read comic books knows exactly what I'm talking about. The backup story in this, which I'm going to have to get the numbers around this, are the Inhumans' origins. And in this one is the origin of Triton. And it tells about his story of leaving Attilan to learn of the humans and getting captured by the humans, but they don't know that he can escape at any time, but he just wants to study them. Then he eventually just crashes a ship by himself, just a crazy man. But I mean, I'm a huge Inhumans fan, and I need to pick up the Thors around here to get the other Inhuman storylines, unless they're in other books too. But I think they're probably just in these Thor books, and I'm gonna have to get them because I like these old Thor books. The artwork in these are phenomenal, and you can't beat an Inhumans backup story. But that's it for this rant video. I'm gonna try to get another one up. I don't know. I've been kind of slacking on these rant videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, just have a great day.